Vorhees is 6'6", 310 pounds. He's played left guard, right guard, some left tackle. His primary position the last 2 years has been at left guard. That's where we will be watching him. Games from 2021 and 2022. He's number 72. He has what I call constant feet. He's constantly moving his feet, never stops them in pass protection. You see him shoot his arms, reset. You can see his hand outside at this point, but the feet and the hands working together to stay square in between the rush and the quarterback. That is something that shows up consistently, that pairing of his hands with his feet. And I really like the way his feet move in pass protection. I want to focus on his feet and his hands. This time, it's part of the run game. Again, he's our left guard. Can't see his steps off the ball. You'll see the defender slide a little bit inside to the A gap. I think as a consequence, you see this arm, his outside arm, shoot a little wide. Watch him explode upward through his hips. Watch him work the outside arm, even though he shoots it a little wide. And this is something you see a lot with him. He'll get inside the pads and grab cloth. And once he does that, guys are pretty much done. Also does a great job. Here we're talking about his feet. Continuing to run and drive block this guy. And they run this behind him. He's initially part of this double team building a wall on counter. Watch again. The outside arm work its way in. Right there, climb over, get cloth inside, got both hands inside, and continue to drive. I really enjoyed watching Andrew. He is a consistent down-to-down, game-to-game watch. I love how he works his feet on this particular play. His hands get defeated here. You can see very wide. Looks like he's beat, and the rusher has a direct path to hit the quarterback. But his technique in moving his feet, continuing to move them, never stopping them. He's definitely a fighter in these pass protection downs. He wins this rep with his feet, eventually getting square between the quarterback and the rush, not with his hands. He's definitely leaning on the rush, but his inside arm's been knocked away. That's part of what I mean when I say he's a fighter in these pass protection situations. I really do like him as a pass protector. To me, he absolutely looks the part of a starting left guard in the NFL. He's consistent in his technique. You know what you're getting from him down in, down out. He's a fighter in pass protection. A little late off the ball here. A little wide in his inside arm. Continues to work his feet. Does a good job in these hops to reset. You can see he's getting hands to the helmet there, but watch who wins this rep. He eventually sneaks that arm inside. Absolutely jamming the rush. Watch it again. I hope you'll hang with me after a few more clips. I'm going to get into probably my favorite thing about Andrew Vorhees. Watch him take on this bull rush from the 5 tech. Absolutely gets moved there. Hands outside. This is where strength comes in. But also his feet. He's very good at these pressure hops. Just kind of short little back hops where he resets. Works to reset his arms inside. He's hard to run through. Powerful guy. And then ultimately, this is just a wrestling match. He just kind of throws this guy. I like what we see in terms of him absorbing this bull rush. Those pressure hops, like his feet very much. Certain plays that I pulled and made notes on, I wrote the words tight hands. What I mean by that is every time he gets his hands inside, the way we see it here, he wraps guys up. He locks them up. He's able to grab cloth inside the pads. It's really controlling the defender. I like how he squares around at the end of the rep in case the quarterback is stepping up in the pocket, but he swings his hips, keeps his hands tight. We get a picture of him in the run game on this rep. His strength, Goes over to get the nose tackle, and that tackle's a big boy. And that's saying something because Andrew's 6'6", 310. He's just physically torquing with his hips and working his legs, swinging them around to seal that defender from the play. Watch it again. I'm going to get now to my favorite quality that Andrew possesses, and I think this is something that makes him special. I might not have the best memory, but I can't recall seeing anyone out of college this attentive. He doesn't just attend to different gaps outside of his own or help. He saves guys. Watch him here helping inside, attentive to the rush outside. This left tackle's beat right here. Watch how he steps in and saves, gets his hands in the chest, works his hips around right there. There's that hop again, squared between the quarterback and the rush. Watch his attention to gaps outside of his own. Stops the rush, passes off this 3-tech twist, cuts off the inside. He's going to come over and help. See, this is what I mean. He helps guys out when they're beat. Identifies that as a possible rush inside, moves that defender, eyes immediately with his arm outstretched to that gap, switch to the left tackle side. Now he comes over to help out to this side. Okay, for some things that might be viewed as negative, there are reps on tape where he ducks his head and whiffs, as we'll see right here. I've seen that a couple times. The injuries are a concern. Of course, he's probably going to miss this entire year, and I understand he's had another surgery earlier in his career. I believe he missed 2 or 3 games because of injury last year. Something else I should point out is that to me he's a very average athlete. He's nothing special getting to the second level or on pulls, though I should mention he pulls 3-4 times a game, so he's experienced doing it. Doesn't have great lateral quickness. I also don't know his arm length. Doesn't look like he's got short arms, but he doesn't look to have the greatest length. Certainly that could be an issue with longer guys across from him. Here's a look at him against a guy with particularly long arms. Kind of jolts Andrew, keeps him at bay, and then Andrew's going to lean a little bit there and miss. What I like, however, is that he's consistent in his technique. Watch him swing to the inside hip right there and try to push him outside the pocket. But I'm astounded, even with the ACL tear, that he lasted to the 7th round. Given health, I don't see why this guy can't be a high quality and a very consistent starter. I like him as a run blocker. I like him as a pass protector.